You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 5th of September. Torrential rains continue to wreak havoc across northern India and Pakistan. No need to panic. India's trade minister confident of securing US trade deal. And Afghanistan faces overlapping crisis as earthquake survivors face aid crunch. And now for all the details. Torrential rains have continued to wreak havoc across northern India and Pakistan. With rising rivers, overflowing dams, and the widespread flooding has caused devastation across the South Asian region, killing 880 in Pakistan over the season, while in India, nearly 150 people have lost their lives.
Pakistan's Punjab province has seen over 1.8 million people evacuated after nearly 3,900 villages were submerged due to the recent floods in the region. With water levels rising in the city of Multan, authorities are now considering breaching the Chenab riverbank to divert floodwaters to the outskirts and save the city. 3 rivers in Pakistan have deluged Pakistan's Punjab province. Authorities are working round the clock to manage the situation and prevent further loss of life.
इस वक्त अगर मैं आपके साथ टोटल फिगर शेयर करूं तो बाय नाउ जब हम बात कर रहे हैं तो तकरीबन 3951 मुआवजात पूरे पंजाब में इस वक्त इनंडेट हो चुके हुए हैं अनफॉर्चुनेटली। इसी तरह 38,75,617 लोगों को हम इवैक्यूएट कर चुके हैं।
Meanwhile, after the overflow of Jhelum River in India's Jammu and Kashmir, residential areas were flooded in Srinagar and over 9,000 people were evacuated in Budgam district. The Weather Office has however forecast showers are set to ease now. Omar Abdullah, Jammu and Kashmir's chief minister, shared a list of rescue centers in Budgam on X and urged the citizens to be cautious and avoid panic. In national capital New Delhi, the Yamuna River also rose to dangerous levels. On Thursday, muddy water poured into homes in low-lying areas, from which thousands had already been evacuated to safer places as a precaution.
हमारी टीमें 2 तारीख को शाम को डिप्लॉयड हो गई थी। 2 तारीख से लेकर के अभी तक कल शाम तक हमने 171 बंदों को रेस्क्यू कर लिया गया है और हमें लगातार अलाउंस भी कर रहे हैं, पुलिस की सहायता भी ले रहे हैं। इसके साथ साथ बीच-बीच में हम लोग राउंड भी लगा रहे हैं। जो पानी का लेवल है कल शाम से लेकर के अभी तक हल्का सा बढ़ा हुआ है, लेकिन जो पानी का स्तर लगभग एक समान हो गया है।
And India and the European Union on Thursday pledged to finalize free trade deal by December during a joint call with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The 27-nation bloc's top leaders, Antonio Costa and Ursula von der Leyen, pledged to promoting a rules-based global order amid Trump tariffs. They discussed strengthening the India-EU strategic partnership and cooperation over global issues. The leaders welcomed progress in bilateral relations in key sectors such as trade, technology and investment. The Ukraine conflict was also discussed in the conversation, von der Leyen said in a post on X, and added that India has an important role to play in bringing Russia to end the Ukraine war. The phone call, largely focused on India-EU free trade deal, and the summit came days before EU Trade Commissioner's planned trip to New Delhi. PM Modi reiterated India's consistent support for peaceful resolution of the conflict and early restoration of peace and stability.
Marine plastics or green.
And India should be able to resolve its issues with the United States and conclude an equitable, fair and balanced bilateral trade agreement, the country's Trade Minister Piyush Goyal has said. Speaking to ANI news agency, Goyal said there is no need to panic as negotiations are underway with the US over the 50% tariff on Indian goods. India has already finalized trade agreements with Mauritius, Australia, UK and the UAE, he said at another event. The United States is India's largest trading partner, but relations have become strained amid disputes over tariffs and New Delhi's purchases of Russian oil. Washington imposed a 50% tariff on key Indian exports from August 27. Goyal, however, assured that India and the US continue to have good relations.
Well, I don't think there's any need to panic. We should allow the negotiations to happen. We continue to have very good relations with the United States, and I'm sure that we'll be able to resolve some of these issues and come to a equitable, fair and balanced agreement. Well, I think time will tell whether it works out well in a short time frame or a longer time frame. So how much time will be taken, we'll have to allow the negotiators to.
Afghanistan is facing several overlapping crises. A UNDP official said after thousands of homes were reduced to rubble in earthquakes this week and survivors face a bleak future, with global aid agencies warning of dwindling funds for food, shelter and medicines. A report.
Afghanistan is reeling from multiple crises as powerful earthquakes this week flattened villages in Kunar and Nangarhar, killing over 2,200 people, injuring 3,600, and leaving tens of thousands homeless. On Friday, a magnitude 5.4 quake struck southeastern Afghanistan, the fourth since Sunday. UNDP official Anatoly Balavnev said the country faces droughts, refugee returns, deadly floods, and now earthquakes, while aid agencies warn of dwindling resources for food, medicine, and shelter.
Afghanistan is experiencing several overlapping crises at the moment. Droughts, return of millions returnees, refugees from Iran and Pakistan, deadly floods, and now we have earthquake.
In Masood village in Kunar's Nurgal, 40-year-old Afghan farmer and daily wage laborer Nazar Shah sheltered under tents with his 15-member family after their home was destroyed. Shah's 110-year-old mother, Rod Bibi, was injured in the quake and was being treated as relatives cleared debris and cooked outdoors. The family had spent 2 years in Pakistan before they were expelled and returned to Afghanistan.
تقاضا د نړۍ د حکومت د ولس د درود نه دا تقاضا ده چې موږ سره د همکاري وشي سرپناه ختم شو د کوټونه دغه ترپاړونو کې پراته دي د خوراکي توکي نشته کمبلې نشته خیمې نشته.
Afghanistan is prone to deadly earthquakes, particularly in the Hindu Kush range, where homes made of stone and timber offer little protection, leaving families exposed to ongoing tremors and heavy rains, according to the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs.
In Nepal, Facebook and Instagram went dark on Thursday night as the government's enforcement of a ban on unregistered social media platforms came into effect. Users reported outages when trying to log in, while WhatsApp, YouTube and Twitter remained functional. The move follows a Supreme Court order responding to long-pending writ petitions that sought curbs on unlicensed platforms carrying foreign advertisements and content. Acting on the ruling, a ministerial meeting led by Communications Minister Prithvi Subha Gurung ordered an immediate shutdown of 26 unregistered platforms. The government had given companies a 7-day deadline to register locally and set up compliance mechanisms, but major firms, including Meta, Alphabet and LinkedIn, have yet to comply. Registered apps so far include TikTok, Viber and VTalk. Critics say the ban risks isolating millions of Nepali users, as nearly 90% of the population is online. Authorities, however, argue that regulation is necessary to curb cybercrime, fake IDs and hate speech. Officials maintain that services can resume once platforms register. Bangladesh's interim government on Thursday has added a new clause in the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973. The new clause aims to disqualify a candidate from contesting an election, remaining in or applying for government jobs if a charge sheet is filed against the person for committing crimes against humanity. Shafiqul Alam, the press secretary of Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus, said that the provision would simultaneously apply to candidates of local body polls and those who were already holding positions like mayors or district council chairmen. The Advisory Council and the Cabinet approved the proposed amendment to the law. This came a day after the Election Commission proposed that nobody declared as a fugitive by any court be excluded from contesting posts. Analysts said that the new law approved by the interim government would limit further scopes for Awami League leaders to contest posts. The interim government, established after a massive student-led campaign, has restricted the activities of ex-Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's Awami League until its leaders, including the ex-Prime Minister, were tried on charges of committing crimes against humanity. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.